Me to discuss Nigeria's COVID-19 waste management policy is environmentalist Ido Salau. Ido, it's nice to have you join me now, and I think it would be appropriate to say Happy New Year. It's our first time of seeing this year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, now when it comes to waste management, we've been talking about the issue of waste disposal, waste management for a very long time, but now we're focusing on waste from COVID-19. Issues of face masks being disposed here and there. In fact, some people just remove it and just throw it out there. And then we have other things like that. Talk to us basically, are there special ways we're supposed to dispose these things different from regular wastes?
Yeah, I'll first answer your question. Yes, we have a special way because most of those COVID-19 wastes are hazardous waste. Okay. They are classified as, they are medical waste coming from medical institution. But I want to go to historical lane. You talk about policy of waste management in Nigeria, dated back since the inception of this democratic dispensation. Don't forget that we used to have FEPA, Federal Environmental Protection Agency, which was now metamorphosed into Federal Ministry of Environment, and we had the first Minister of Environment, Ambassador Hassan Adamu. Those were the time when policy on waste management were being given to Nigeria. The question we keep asking, why is it that it's difficult to translate idea into reality in Nigeria? Why? The medical waste we're talking about is part of the policy that have been in place. Now, the problem we have, till now, can you tell me that over 2 decades, we just have something we can call landfill in Nigeria, in Ibadan? Why? Is it because of policy some asserting? 1, 2, interest of the leader, and environment is key.
Or maybe it has to do with the understanding of the leaders of how important these issues are generally to
if you don't take care of waste management, there are health implications, there are socio-economic implications, there are in terms of employment opportunity. All these are part of benefit that's accrued to waste management. And I give you an example of what we have in Ibadan now. When I met the governor, he was first thinking that it was opposition that were bringing waste to the city just to give his government bad name. And the day I met him, I asked him, you have a problem. I've been to your dump site. The distance of your dump site to the city is about 20-something kilometers. 12 kilometers of that 20-something kilometers is in bad state. When you now get to the dump site, people who bring waste cannot even access the dump site. The dump site was in a sorrow state. Then the people collecting the waste from the city too, they have problems. They are using unapproved vehicle, 2 tons, 3 tons. Things has changed now in Ibadan. So that means it takes us 20-something years to have a perfect waste management in place. Now, come back to COVID-19 waste. Now we are expecting about 3 million of the vaccines to come into Nigeria.
Almost 4 million.
Almost all. The vaccination center, where they be giving vaccines to people, medical institution, all these things, they have to now think of the waste management aspect of the syringe, the sharp object, and the needle. Now, all this, where are they going to? When we were doing the rehabilitation of our landfill in Ibadan, every day, the waste picker, they always come in contact openly with medical waste. And that's why we're able to create a section for destruction of hazardous, including medical waste at the water.
How best should one destroy all of these, especially for the average, you know, in traffic? Yeah. You see these people who sell nose masks and all of that. Yeah. Amazing. But anybody who buys it and the mask that is being sold is disposable. Yeah. You're supposed to use it just once and then you dispose it. Yeah. So how should they dispose it and what happens from there?
Thank you, Mike. Those are the new waste characteristics that we now have, waste type that we now have in our landfill now. Most of the time, the waste find their way into water bodies because they are floating objects. So when it rains,
get into the drainages.
If you, in a city where we have poor waste management, you're supposed to have a separate professional people taking the medical waste from generation source, that's from the ward, that's the primary storage, to outside the hospital, outside the ward, secondary storage. A specialized vehicle comes to pick it to the destruction center.
Specialized vehicle?
Specialized vehicle, okay, which has insulator and this and that. Even some have cold room facility. Now, because the waste itself is as dangerous as the disease that is being transmitted. Yes, it's as potent, because if you have the virus in an object, it can easily be transmitted to other person. Now, if you now take it to a large area where people work, in Ojota they have about 4,000 to 5,000 people working on the dump site on a daily basis. And that is where the medical waste, COVID-19 waste from isolation center, now we are going to have vaccines. The vaccination center now will produce sharp objects. If you are not protected, just last week, we celebrated the World Packers Day, Waste Packers Day by United Nations. Now, they are telling you about safety, particularly in this pandemic period, whereby most of things that is now surging in our dump site and landfill all over the world is COVID-19 waste. The PPE they are wearing. If you remember the late Abba Kyari's burials at National Hospital, one particular person, after doing the burial this day, was seen, and the video went viral, removing his PPE and dumping it. Right there, I called the Director of Pollution Control, Federal Ministry of Environment. You are supposed to play active role in this particular problem. Since that day, I don't know if they've done anything regarding management of COVID-19 waste. Thank God, the chairman of the COVID-19, that's SGF, is the chairman of Ecological Fund. And in Ecological Fund office, they have COVID-19, they have a pollution control department. These are things with channel. All the state government, all the national institution, national health institution, the state governments will approach them that they should be giving a kind of grant, or they should purchase an incinerator for them. Because there are three ways you can destroy this thing. It's either you use autoclave, which will steam it and remove the render the potency a little bit low, or you combust it. And that's the best approach for medical waste. Combustion using incinerator.
How does that work? Okay, like
yes,
burning
okay, in the chamber.
Okay.
That will reduce the potency from up to 99.9%. Only 0.1% will be left. And we have good incinerator now that takes care of the air pollution, the furan and dioxin, takes care of them. So we can say if every national hospital, and how many incinerators do we have in Nigeria? It's only the tertiary hospital that have incinerator, and I think most of them are packed up. Igbobi own has packed up, Lut own has packed up, and even the one that is working in UCH can only handle maybe 50 tons, or that's the 50 tons capacity that was done about 18 to 12 years, to 15 years ago. So these are areas where policy maker should center there, because if you don't want to have second wave of COVID-19,
we already have second wave.
Okay, let's say third or fourth wave.
Yeah, they're talking about
that will not be man-made.
Yeah. They even on the papers this morning, there was a headline, you know, the PTF warning of a likely third wave if Nigerians don't take caution and don't do anything about all of the protocols that have been talked about. Now, the point there is, health is on the concurrent list.
Yeah.
Where the federal government and even the state government should be able to do something at their levels and all of that. Now, a lot of people look up to the federal government, forgetting that some of these primary things can be done even at the state or even local level, depending on, because if the primary health care is supposed to be under the local government, of course there are medical waste from that level too, from bandages and you know, cotton wool and things like that. So how should governments all be part of this level, so we don't always look at the government, at the federal government, leaving the primary things that people are supposed to do, and even the private sector is there.
The Constitution of Nigeria recognizes waste management as local government level. Local government level. That's what the Constitution of Nigeria. So
the fourth schedule.
Yes. Now the same thing that is happening to health, being a primary area that where it could be tackled, the same thing for waste management. Now, because of waste management facility is expensive, so the local government don't have the fund But what the state government should do is to assist the local government to give them autonomy to be able to maybe access this foreign loan through United Nations Environmental Fund, through World Bank, so that they can start at communal level to do waste management. Now, problem is everybody has to run to the state government. State government has to run to ecological fund. And most of the time, waste management don't wait for anybody. Once you get one of the 5 components of waste management, once you get one wrong, the result is outside there. Because if you don't take care of generation,
it's like a chain.
It's a chain. It's a chain. The narrative on ground is a chain. And if you don't follow one of the steps, that's where you have problem. You can take care of collection very well. If you don't have good transportation, you will end up in the disposal site and you have start having backlog in the city. If you don't take care of treatment, under treatment, what you have is that from treatment you reduce and remove 30% of recyclable. So you spend money only on 70%. Those 70% that are biodegradable, you need to put value chain into it. And that's what we are trying to do in Ibadan. Right now, from the landfill in our water in Ibadan, we are already generating our renewable energy from the landfill. We just started. We did a pilot on one particular tipping platform that we have capped. We have about 6 hectares. We already have 6 meters with a solar panel. All the electricity we use there now is by solar. Now, the phase 2 of it now is to tap and cap and trap the gas, collect the gas, treat it, and use it to generate electricity, the landfill gas, which is methane. So we are already going to the phase 2 of it by doing the gas scoping to know the trend and the volume and the quantity of gas that's present in the cap waste. So the next phase is if we're able to put on a 1 hectare of land 70% of organic waste on a 1 hectare of land, and you're able to cap it, you're able to collect the gas, you can generate 1 megawatt of electricity. And that's from renewable energy source. The same thing to solar. If you're able to put a 2.3 meter by 1 meter of a solar cell on a 1 hectare of land with a high altitude, you can generate another 1 megawatt of electricity. Why are we wasting? Look at that Ojota there. It's a 41.2 hectares. And if it's properly managed, it could become energy hub for Lagos State. That will serve the entire, all the street light that they are spending 1 billion naira monthly to power. You can get the natural resources there. The gas is there. All you just need to do the needful and let the right people work on that place. So these are things that we are wasting a lot of resources in Nigeria. So the COVID-19 too, if we want to tackle it, right now, we have a problem ahead of us. Where are the syringes that will be used and the sharp object that will be used for the vaccination? Where will they go to?
I guess the National Primary Healthcare Development Authority, or the NCDC, and all of those under the Ministry of Health, I guess they already have that template as to how they want to manage
Since when?
Maybe there's going to be a press conference, so I guess they'll let us know how all of those breakdowns will be. But I am concerned about the Ibadan picture you painted.
Yeah.
Now, you said the dump site is about 22 kilometers away from
the city.
Yeah, but after a little while, you know how land development and all of those.
Yes.
Wouldn't there be encroachment? You know, housing and all of those kind of things into.
In fact, when we were doing rehabilitation, there was encroachment already. The land is more than the footprint of the landfill is about 25 hectares now. It's more than that. But the governor warned us that whosoever have encroached, we should carve the person out. We should not demolish. That we should have human face. And that's what we did. Now, the life has been brought back to that place. A lot of people who live in that area, because the land has been degraded, they've moved away. Now they are coming back because of the rehabilitation and remodeling that we have done in that landfill. Now, life has come back. The leachate water that affects them is being collected, is being treated. The gas that turns to fire most of the time is no longer there. We've buried it. We've used soil blanket, laterite, and clay to do that. Now we are going to the phase 2 of the project, whereby renewable energy will be produced there, and the people around there will not go on that national grid again.
Wow.
That's our plan. And we already have 5 kVA being generated from one source of renewable energy.
That's really amazing, and we look forward to seeing more of that replicated in parts of the country, and also look forward to knowing more about what is going on in Ibadan, the success story there. Thank you so much, Idil Salau, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And we wish you well in what you do.